jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world combat sports. Talking way too much, world combat sports. Talking way too much, world combat sports.
Hoorah, good morning. WCS back on the block, and you already know, man, happy birthday to the U.S. Marines. This is our 247th on deck. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? November 10th, 1775, my Marine Corps came alive, singing low, rider, left, right. Yeah. You already know, man. Shout out to the Devil Dogs, the shock troops. You know what I'm saying? The green side, boots on the ground. You know what I'm saying? First in the building. It's a pleasure to say happy birthday to the comrades today. You know what I'm saying? Marines first to fight. It's been a journey. You know, every year is a good year if you're able to come up to another birthday. And we're about to have another Veterans Day tomorrow, which is November 11th. But before that, it's always good to know that the Marine Corps birthday is out there. And those Marines that are living and the fallen, shout out to y'all. You're still a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. So definitely want to give a shout out to them. And for myself, big salute to the supporters that rock with the channel. Yes, WCS is U.S. Marine Corps retired. Hoorah. And I appreciate everyone that tunes in and support me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't build my channel off the back of saying, hey, I'm a U.S. Marine, Usmc all day, every day. I mean, maybe once or twice a year, or if I have to defend my freaking honor, then you'll hear me talk about it a little bit more. But for most of the ones that's been around for a minute, they already know. They already know, bro. You know what I'm saying? They already know what it is. NO in the building. Salute to you. Pop on deck. Happy born day, Marines. Salute, man. Mr. Paz. Peace, WCS. Salute. What's good? So we got a topic that I want to touch on dealing with the BLK situation, because a lot of people or looking at this. I got several topics really to talk about in boxing. But I want to touch bases on the BLK situation. The ticket sales has been tremendous. Real talk. The ticket sales has been incredible. So as we pass by the months and we seen what went down with everything, and Crawford is now turned off the switch to Errol Spence. He's entirely focused on everything dealing with David Avanesian, right? So during that time with the negotiation process, when he split, people had their own ideas. You know what I'm saying? It's all about narrative pushing, opinions. Who they gonna scrutinize, and for what reason they're scrutinizing them? How much time they're gonna spend? Are they gonna keep it on the truth, or are they gonna keep it on the lie? So a lot of what's been said about Crawford leaving negotiation was, from the Spencerholics, they trying to insinuate that Errol Spencer's blindside and everything like that. So of course I screen recorded a recent interview that he had that clears up a lot. And it's no matter what they say out here about how he did it, it's the fact he did it. He did it. He made the command decision and did it the right way. They're going to try to twist and turn his words and all that, and that's what they do. I understand it. It's a failed attempt at desperation. They still mad that he's fighting this year, and their idol is out here on video looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? So whatever it does, if someone's still talking about how he did it, who he didn't fight, it's just desperation, y'all. You know what I'm saying? To save face. His people, his so-called supporters are still out here talking about Crawford. That's how they the worst fans in boxing, bro. I put it out there. They the worst fans in boxing. So let's get down to this interview. Terrence Crawford, the Zone Boxing. Hear what he has to say about this situation and how it all played out. And you will understand this man did everything the right way. He did everything the right way.
No, okay. There's a reason.
Got you. So you said that you were in negotiations with Al and them for like a while, since May. So when did BLK approach you?
Well, I've been talking to them probably around June, July.
So you heard Karen say he been talking to them since June and July, right? So they're going to take it and run with it like a fat lady in heels. And they're going to, in the process of goddamn stumbling and getting all scratched up, they're going to brush themselves off and find a computer to come on here and say, he was negotiating with them back in June. He lied. But listen to what he said, how he handled the situation. It's a difference between speaking with them and actually negotiating with them. If they contacted him, listen to what he said. Don't listen to all these other channels that's out there lying and they trying to save face.
It was early, but it wasn't nothing like, well, really I met him before then, but I didn't really have too many conversations with him because I had stated to him like, man, I got other things lined up, and that I'm moving forward with. I really didn't tell him about the Spence fight. Then once I did tell him, I just kept it real with him. Like, hey, listen, I got this fight. Yeah, we never had any negotiations.
He just told you right there. We never had any negotiations. Once again, he said we never had any negotiation. He pretty much put it out there that the contact was made. They spoke on it, but they never had any negotiation. You understand that? They never had any negotiations initially when they made contact. That's keeping it professional. Him basically telling the world that he did have contact with him, but it wasn't no negotiation.
Talking, getting to know one another, and once they really wanted to do something, let me know that they wanted to do something. I had stated like, listen, this is my first priority, my main priority, and this is where I'm headed, because I didn't want to lead them in the dark and have them have their hopes up high, and then I turn around and, the say yeah.
So was that?
So what he just basically said, he let them know that his priority, his targeted interest was Errol Spence Jr. His priority and his targeted interest was Errol Spence Jr. He made that perfectly clear that he was focused on negotiations with Spence. Period. You can't stop a man from having a conversation with anybody. We're free to talk on the phone and do what we want. But when it comes down to how they're trying to weave this, like I said, crocheting for the first time, you know what I'm saying? Just playing around with the string effect, dangling their own little narratives around, moving characters and shit, juggling their thoughts. I don't know what they got in their hand. I don't know if they got a couple whatever in their hand, man. But it seemed like they not in their right frame of mind when they trying to damn turn this around as if he was negotiating ahead of time. He wasn't negotiating anything. He made it perfectly clear. He's been on record as being an honest person. So if he's saying he wasn't negotiating with them and his targeted interest was Spence, I believe him. He wasn't up here trying to damn talk to BLK ahead of time. They contacted him. And that's going to lead me to something else that I said a long time ago, which people always talk about I'm hating. You know, I'm trying to hate on this, but they contacted him back in June. Didn't he just say that?
BLK, one of the companies that you said was offering the 50 million, 25 apiece, because Errol Spence said, when you said, yeah, I got two companies that could offer us 25 million, he said that you couldn't show him who they were.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Listen. I'm not gonna go into detail.
But give us that. Give us something. About
I'm not gonna go into the detail of who it was and what. That's what I'm not gonna do.
No, just did you tell him? No, we just want to know if you told him.
Just know. I told him on a FaceTime to his face like I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
And not once did he ever say, who is the hedge fund, where the money, this and that. Never in a million years did he ever ask those type of questions. So, you know, he can go and say, oh, well, I asked him this. If he asked me that, then we would have been talking, you know, further in the negotiations about the money. He never not once asked me anything. I even brought it to Al, so it wasn't nothing. Like I said, that's water under the bridge.
But was it BLK though? Was it BLK Prime or was it two other companies?
I'm fighting. Like I said, I'm fighting David Evans, and that's where my main focus is at.
So pretty much, to provide just a skinny to the summary, right? He pretty much put it out there when he FaceTime, not on the phone call. You know, he FaceTime Errol Spence, and not once did Errol Spence present any questions to him about where the money was coming from. I believe it, because he may not be that business savvy. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what was going on with him? He may have been disinterested, knowing that he wasn't getting the fight, period. So him hearing about the hedge funds, he wasn't too worried because Al do the business, right? And he knew Al wasn't going to do anything with it. So it wasn't a conversation that interested the man. So he said, fuck it, man. You know, but to save face once again, to do damage control, they brought their ass out on Twitter. Whoever was texting for him tried to sit up here and change it up and act like they wanted to know who the damn money was coming from. He said he brought it to Al. When somebody say not in a million years, you know, somebody like Errol asked, they're not making this shit up. Like, he didn't ask where was the money coming from because it has to go through Al. You know what I'm saying? He can't make no deals without Al's interest. He can't do shit. So then Terrence reverted and he went to Al, told him about the money. And Al say he don't want nobody else touching it. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world, man. The truth is the truth, what it is. It doesn't matter how many damn people get on here and speak in a whole entirely different direction. The fact is, he FaceTimed this man. The man knew that the hedge fund 25 million was presented. He didn't ask any further details about it, but it was presented to Al Heyman. Real talk. I mean, how much lucid does it have to be? It was clear, concise, and Al said he didn't want nobody else touching it. That's the main problem. That's the main problem. Nothing else matters. When it comes down to anybody negotiating anything in life, if you have a set price in your head and you have a range, then you're going to negotiate that range, right? Right? So if they don't give you what you're looking for, or they just don't want to entertain you, you walk away, right? So when you walk away, are they going to go online and say, oh, so-and-so ducked this car sale today. So-and-so ducked this car sale. They ducked the car sale. We was giving him this price with an interest rate of goddamn 8.99%. They ducked this car sale. No, it was no ducking. It was the fact that you can go elsewhere. You have the option and the freedom to go elsewhere, and you dip over there to somebody who contacted you earlier, and you take it from there. You get what you want. Now, whether it's 8 figures or below that, still, it was much easier, 36 hours for them to make this motherfucker happen. 36 hours. They got the shit done. And the tickets, goddamn, believe me, if you ain't already got your tickets, well, good luck. You might be sitting in the parking lot.
None of your business. None of your business. Don't worry about that. You might find out later.
I can dig it. I can dig it. Now, as far as the new company, their startup, people are wondering what they're going to bring to the table. How has everything been since you decided to sign for the Usmc fight? How have they been treating you creatively? Are you happy with what they're doing with the promotion and all of that?
Well, everything's been good, you know. They fairly new into boxing, so of course they're gonna get a lot of backlash. Of course, a lot of people gonna say, "Oh, well, they don't know what they're doing," and whatnot. But you know, everything's been smooth sailing so far. So, you know, I'm happy with where I'm at. You know, so that's all that matters. As long as
no
you're
doubt.
the fighter.
Look, a fighter of your stature has to think ahead, though, right? I mean, what is the plan in early 2023? Is it to go back and try to renegotiate with Terrence
Of
Crawford?
course.
See?
With Terrence Crawford.
I mean, sorry, with Spence, PBC.
Yo, you your toughest fight yourself.
Yeah, you gotta beat yourself. Yeah, I mean, that's the plan, right?
Like I said,
Circles,
you know,
spin the block.
But will that be with BLK?
There you go.
Will that be a potential PBC BLK collab?
Who knows? You know, but he said he was gonna circle the block. You know, so let's see. You know what I mean? He be victorious in this fight. I'm victorious in my fight, and he's splitting the block. And I'm gonna drop him off, like I said.
That's funny. Yo, so, all right. David Evaneson, I know he's a good fighter. I seen.
Shout out to Bruce Guys Boxing Jazz. Shout out to Big Blunts and Boxing. Thanks for giving a shout out to the U.S. Marines, man. Thanks for even acknowledging. Big salute, happy birthday to the Marines. No doubt, brother. Appreciate you. Real talk. Appreciate you. So let's talk about what we heard. What's clear and evident, right? It's the fact that the names itself has grown tremendously out here. I mean, I'm talking about on the hour. What people was confused about is all this BLK timeline on when all this took place. Well, we should just pretty much jettison the fact that we still talking about the timeline because the tickets are on sale. So it don't matter about no timeline anymore, anything, because Al Heyman said he didn't want nobody else touching it. So what is a fighter supposed to do? I mean, as a grown human being that's above any age where you consider an adult, you have to be in your right sense of mind to say, you know what? I'm still a boxer. No retirement plan at the end of boxing. I'm almost at the end of my career. It'll be good to get a paycheck. If that paycheck is millions, I'm good. That's more money to my account. I got people to take care of. To hear these fools out here talking about ducking, it just goes to show you they're undeveloped when it comes to this their maturity as people in life. The reason why I say that is because it's a lot of freaking conclusions that you can put on this. Ducking is just a cliche grade school terminology to use up here on social media. Like bodied, ducking, shit like that. It's just cliche term, exposed. It's just cliche terms that mean absolutely nothing. At the end of the day, you have to think smart. I know a lot of people in this chat, knowing how they go through life, they make sure they understand the prices of what they're paying for. You're not going to go to the clearance rack and pay double to triple the price on something without checking it, right? You're not going to go into a rental agreement and someone told you this price, but yet when you get the contract and the lease, it's way higher than what they said before. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the common theme when I'm using when making decisions, even though it's opposite of what we're talking about in this scenario with Crawford. Because with him, he's going in there negotiating pay. Now we get to the pay aspect, or for those individuals that's out here in the real world working, all right? You're working. So if your job saying you're going to get either pay hourly or salary, you understand what those numbers are. So they say you're going to get paid $50,000 salary. You understand that potentially that's what you know them to pay. So when you finally sign up for the job, they hire you on, and you look on there and you're saying, this is not what we talked about. Can we talk about this a little bit more? What's the deal? This is $35,000. It's way less than what you told me initially, what we agreed upon. You either stay there or you don't. So if you stay there, they're gonna say you're gonna sign the contract, and then they say we still have a process after this. Okay, you sign the contract, we still have some little small processes after you have to go through. They dangle you along. You take the piss test. You got there and get all the clear. You do the background check and all this shit. They keep on. They say, well, due to this right here, it's gonna take a little bit longer. Boom, you keep on going. Before you know it, 4 or 5 months done pass by. You still negotiating something that initially, it was supposed to be something more than what it was. Then they hit you in the head and say, no, it's much lower now. Now you're waiting. You're waiting, right? And then it turns around that, hey, I have some more obstacles I have to jump over before I actually start getting my money. That becomes frustrating and tiresome. Then you start saying, okay, man, I have to find a different course of action. So your next course of action is to go out here and find something else. Options. Never put your eggs in one basket. You've heard that before, right? So you go look for something else. You find that job. It's what you want to get paid annually. You know what I'm saying? Whether you want to get paid hourly or salary, it works out for you. You get hired on and you start working. What dummy in their right mind is going to stay in negotiations and they send you back a revision for the following year when you want to fight this year? All along, these same hypocrites that's up here talking about Terrence Crawford was ducking was the same one talking about he ain't did shit after he got out the ring with Sean Porter. The same ones, y'all. They're the same ones. They keep switching it up, and everybody understands what the tune is. No matter what record you play, we all know what the tune is. We already know the cliche song and dance that you're trying to present to us. We know. When he got out the ring with Sean Porter at the beginning of this year, they was up there talking about he ain't doing nothing. He should fight Boots. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing. Well, guess what? That shit went away. We get down here after Errol Spence fight, and he says that BLK hit him up, around June or whatever. So what? He still told them he was focused on Spence. He found out Spence negotiation was garbage, and they was trying to give him the lowest of the low. Not only with the money, but they couldn't lock in a date. They couldn't lock in a date for 2022 after he stated that he wanted to fight this year. So since he couldn't get the fight he wanted this year, he had to move the fuck on. That's exhausting everything. So let's get to the process of BLK Prime situation. One thing we know is we always have to have options. Always. If you still going out here just saying, okay, I just want to go over here and I'm dead set on doing this one way. All right. And then we have people that act like they never heard the saying. If you're the same person you was 30 years ago or 20 years ago or 10 years ago, then you pretty much wasted your life. With growth comes change, correct? So if you're going to change with every year that you grow older and you're supposed to get that wisdom about yourself, don't get on YouTube acting like that all evaporates and you're back in the damn first grade raising your hand for the teacher to answer some questions you should already know. Damn, you look a little old to be in class. How old are you? I'm 28 years old. Yeah, I just wanted to drop by, man, and see if I still had it. Because out there in the real world, it's tough, man. I just think I'll drop through the first grade and kind of let these kids know, man, hey, if I had it all over to do again, I'll just come back to the first grade, man. There's a lot of things I'll do different. We don't have that choice, man. You can't start over. So why play around and act like Terrence Crawford wasn't able to speak for himself? Like, bro, this is blown out of proportion. And it's pretty much senseless, man, to hear people talk about the same thing. And it's good, though. Look, they're doing their homework and they're working. They're doing their homework and they're putting in their labor. Labor. I like it. Because the only fighter they're talking about is Terrence Crawford. If they put Spence in there, it's Spence as a victim. It's Spence done wrong. It was Spence. Now what is he going to do? You know what I'm saying? Is he going to move up or he going to stay down here? Spence, he wanted to fight but Crawford. You know what I'm saying? It's always putting him on the victim road just like he was in the video. I totally got it for a long time now. I knew what it was. They the same way he is in that video. They're the same way. They just don't want to admit it, but they are. This man did everything that he was supposed to do. Now, also another thing that I want to mention. I'm glad Crawford said when BOK reached out to him. Because that proves my point when I said about Blue, he already knew. He brought Brian Norman on his show like 2+ months ago. But BOK Prime already reached out to Crawford. And Blue made that point that BOK had already reached out to Crawford to try to get a deal. He didn't make mention to his people, his audience, because he was trying to keep it on the wraps. He just kept it behind the scenes or whatever. If he was a silent partner, which he refused to let people know which month was it when he actually became a silent partner, right? So now you have to take full accountability for everything that you're trying to attach yourself to. So if by chance you was a silent partner and you knew that they had reached out to him, this, that, and the other, well, when you was in Newark, you already knew they was trying to damn get Crawford, and they was really close to trying to make that happen. You knew already. Just take the heat for what it was. You already knew. You continue to go up here and play the facade that you know, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, and you even went online. You even did a live stream with Steven Espinosa saying the fight is still possible, but you don't know if it's going to happen. You're pretty sure it's not going to happen. Of course you didn't think it was going to happen because you knew what was going on behind the scenes with Crawford and BOK. He was pretty much letting people know that negotiations are going nowhere. All the bullshit he was putting up with. So later on, you know what I'm saying? Later on, September, whatever, October, it got to a point where they was kind of getting a feeling that this shit is not going any further, you know, as far as productivity. Like, we can't make this shit happen. And whatever the date was that they start to sever ties with freaking PBC and Top Rank and then commit themselves to David Avanesian fight and BLK. That's what it was. The real talk, he knew. He knew. I'm not hating on this. I'm just saying loyalty is everything, right? Honor, courage, and commitment. We have Marines. There's a lot of shit we can get away with in the Marines, right? But I'm going to tell you two things that's a no-no. Lying and stealing. Lying and stealing from your brothers and your sisters. Lying and stealing, dog. Lying and stealing. I mean, it's going to be arguments. It's going to be gear lockers. You know, you go into the gear locker and you handle that shit. You know what I'm saying? Been plenty of those. We take it to the gear locker. It's been alcohol-related incidents in the Corps. You know what I'm saying? But when you lie and steal, that's a whole different type of punishment, because they feel like you can't be trusted, and you want to try to betray the team, the very team that's fighting for the country. But in this case right here, we heard Crawford pretty much put it out there when they initially reached out to him, what he told them, and then later on when he decided to make this switch, when they pretty much gave him the revision back for 2023, he had to move the fuck on. What's so hard about that? What's so hard about that? I want y'all to do yourselves a favor. When you listen to these videos, listen to how much work they're putting in on Crawford when Errol Spence is out there struggling. They're putting so much work like he's a stepchild. The Crawford supporters are still talking about Crawford and his fight with Avanesian and trying to get tickets to the fight and supporting it. That's what they got going on. But everybody else that's supposed to be looking out for Spence, they don't want to touch that. They still want to talk about Errol Spence and Crawford's negotiation and what went wrong. That's all they want to talk about. And I say, yeah, go boy. You go, boy. Continue to do that motherfucking homework. Continue to put that labor in. You go, boy. Because you convincing everybody y'all don't give a fuck about Spence. All you care about is being immature, continue to talk about Terrence Crawford, who already got his shit going. None of you niggas on here can stop that. That's why you absolutely upset and come out with the dumbest videos. The dumbest videos. You're not even putting effort into trying to then get Spence or somebody from his team to talk about this video or to show your genuine support that you hope he recover, you hope he returns stronger than ever, and this, that. You know what I'm saying? Just genuine support. But no, you're talking about Crawford. Understand this. The negative, derogatory shit you say about Crawford is not going to build up Spence, bro. And look, it's not even going to build up your channel. And the one reason that you're talking about Crawford, because he's the hottest topic on YouTube. So you're willing to source revenue off him, right? But yet you're attempting to defame his name in the media. What does that make you? If you're saying you're talking boxing and you know he's the hottest topic out here, you're going to continue to do what you want to do and show the people that you're just selfish and you got them clout chasing and you're taking advantage of the views that you're getting off Crawford's back. And the further caveat, the fight with BLK Prime, the tickets are being sold. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you think another video is going to stop something on December 10th, but so far so good, bro. So far so good. Challenger, we have liftoff. We headed to December 10th, bro. Whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, all you're doing is giving free promo to keep people interested. And what I like what Terrence Crawford said was he's turned off about Errol Spence. He ain't talking about him no more. He's focused on David Avanesian, man, a guy that's ranked in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? A guy that's going to be across the ring and gets to experience a fight of a lifetime in there with one of the greatest. He get to experience the time of a life. I mean, a moment of a lifetime to step in there with a fighter like Terrence Bud Crawford. That's where we at with it. Let me get to the chat right quick. Andrew on deck, salute to you. Ricardo Garcia Dominguez, yut. Hey. What's going on, Shelton? Salute, happy birthday, USMC, go Army. Big Devil Dogs. Shout out Gooch. WCS, shout out to the USMC. Always proud to work with you brothers, man. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate everyone giving shout out to the Corps, man. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Marine Corps birthday, 247th birthday. Real talk. You know, anybody that's been with the channel, one of the most times I usually dress up in uniform on Veterans Day or whatever and just mess around on here, but that's like the only time I even bring up this. You know what I'm saying? You know, blessed to make it up out of combat and everything, even though there's some close moments. But it is what it is, man. You know, I just hope all the brothers out there that's struggling with losing limbs and PTSD and everything that goes on with combat, man. Hope everybody's just enjoying this moment, because listen, people can say thank you for your service one day out of a year, but really, that ain't enough when it boils down to the sacrifice we made. But yet, I still remember people when they used to tell me, like, hey, don't complain about what's going on in the service. You signed up for it. If you signed up for it, don't complain about it. Period. But what I'm happy about is you all dropping in here today. Yeah, it is a 247 Marine Corps birthday. Thanks for the shout outs. Thanks for the love. Appreciate it. So with this point I'm trying to make is that be very vigilant and intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Use the mid part of your brain for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Informational routing, mapping, selecting, cataloging. The mid part of your brain allows you to do that. With the information that you catalog, process the motherfucker, man. We ain't perfect. It's some shit we do impulsively. I get it. But this is not a moment right here that you have to be impulsive. All you got to do is do your research, and then you find out what you want to talk about. If you choose to come out here in front of everybody and talk about this shit in the most extreme bias, you're not doing anything to other people. Like, some people believe they are directly influencing. No, you can't stop BOK Prime situation. You can't stop Crawford's paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Like in the Marine Corps, it's some people that can stop you from getting promoted. If you did some it's some people that can hinder your promotion. It's some things that you can do in the military that can prohibit you from picking up the next rank. It's some situations you can be in where you have to go before the chain of command, and you are disciplined. That can prevent you from doing certain things or progressing. In this situation, boxing isn't regulated, and it's pretty much free spirited. You sign a contract, you're going to get what you're supposed to get. And Terrence Crawford made the decision smartly to sever ties, sever communication, do away, cut the light off with Spence, and go over there to David Avanesian. Look, at the end of the day, no matter what names you make about Avanesian, he's still stepping into the ring. So it doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. It sounds good for this recreational purposes, you know, like a freaking local parking lot carnival or something like that. You know what I'm saying? An old school arcade. You walk up there, pop a quarter in there, and play games. Yeah, it's good for recreational enlightenment. But besides that, you have no freaking influence on this fight. Stopping this fight. You can't do shit. A lot of you cats that's on this YTC, you're going to be there in Omaha. That's going to be the first time your ass showing up in Omaha, because deep down inside, you want to see him ring walk. You want to see him freaking go to the ring. You want to see him go in there and fight, just so you can take a couple of freaking selfies and stuff and say you was there. Why? Because it's the biggest topic on YTC. Now, what you do with the selfie, if you're a freaking a Terrence Crawford fan, then you there to support. If you're an Errol Spence hater, then you come back on here with a picture and you want to say, oh, it was half full. No. Prove it. But yet I'm going to ask you, did you stay for the whole fight as long as it lasted? Cool. Did you get what you thought you was going to get? All right, cool. Then that's where we at with it. That's where we at with it. I'm convinced these cats don't care shit about Spence, bro. This is the biggest facade and charade that you will ever see on the YTC. They talk. And now I know that they were speaking in fear, because once the shit came out with the video and all that, well, let me back up to negotiation. Once negotiation ended, they still didn't talk about Spence like that. They kept the energy on Crawford. No wonder Spence came on here and said what he said and responded facts with clickbait and all that shit. He probably want his fans to speak more about him in a good way. But every time his name is mentioned in a live, Crawford's name is in a live. People can sit up here and do a live on Crawford and don't mention Spence. But every time they mention Spence, they mention Crawford. Why? Just stick to your fighter and talk. That's all you got to do. Stick to your fighter and talk, man. It's that simple, bro. CMD said, WCS, did you hear Shakur Stevenson could be in serious trouble for leaving? What trouble he's going to be in? He's not a suspect. You feel me? Reggie on deck. Boxing conversations. Salute Pop said, my pop and two of my nephews served, so I respect the armed forces and those who serve too. Appreciate it, Pop. Fisty on the Fight said, happy birthday, Marines. I'm retired Army, but still love all the services. Shout out to the U.S. Army. You know what I'm saying? Work with them over there, especially over there in Korea on Taegu. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how can you be in the military without working with the Army, especially if you use Marines? Now, in the Air Force, they can't relate. Excuse me, who was that? I was in the U.S. Air Force. What do you say? U.S. Army. You work? I don't know who they are. What about U.S. Marines? Jimmy, I never heard of them. What about the Navy? Yeah, sort of, kind of. I had to go to sick call. Yeah, you know, I know Navy. No Army, no Marine Corps? No, I'm just, I never saw them on this base at all. I mean, Air Force, we pretty much stick to ourselves, you know, and we consider the higher echelon of military services, you know. You can just let me take you for a tour of our barracks. Our barracks are quite different from the kennels that they live over there in the Marine Corps. Man, the Air Force, our whole entire uniform is different. You know what I'm saying? You know, we can jump in a goddamn a bird at any given time and take flight, and our uniforms are made for us to be able to maneuver around and be comfortable in there. See, so right now I'm taking you to the barracks, and what you see here is a 2-bathroom, 3-bedroom barracks room. Yeah, this is just for one Air Force, one airman. Okay. Yeah, we have all the amenities, utilities, you know what I'm saying? Toaster oven. I mean, we have one full-size fridge and one small fridge over there. We have a massage chair. Yeah. We also have a second floor, man, in case you just want to relax and just get away from your day. That's the motherfucking Air Force, dog. I swear to God, when I went over to their barracks, I say, what? Are y'all living like that? Damn. God damn. In the Marine Corps, we live 6'2" a motherfucking room. Goddamn shit. They put bunk beds on top of bunk beds in that motherfucker, dog. WCS Crawford's latest interview on the Zone platform, interesting. Crawford maneuvers like a real one. That's what I just finished playing early during the live. I pretty much presented the audio for which he was talking about on the Zone Boxing. And that's what I was saying. It made a lot of sense on what he was talking about. And that being, when BLK Prime initially reached out to him, his reply to BLK Prime, his targeted interest was Spence. He allowed them to know that. He let them know that. That's what I'm focused on. In the process of focusing on Errol Spence Jr., the negotiations didn't work. It didn't go as follows. And also he mentions about talking about the hedge fund and everything, being that some tweets came out and he couldn't produce who they was from. He said he FaceTimed Spence, and Spence never asked about who are they from, where the money's coming from, and none of that. So you have some people that lacks integrity and willing to lie to cover their ass. And why would he ask where the money's coming from? Because at the end of the day, he know Terrence Crawford is not attached to a promoter. So he has to go to Al Heyman regardless. And that's what he did. He went to Al Heyman. Al Heyman said he don't want anybody else touching it. Why would you want to put a ceiling, a limitation on yourself? And in between time, he was trying to basically agree to everything. Now we have individuals that believe that they're using every bit of their brain housing, every bit of their thought process. You know what I'm saying? The hippocampus, medulla oblongata, all that shit. They using all that shit, right? They have an opportunity to do their own troubleshooting on this shit. If a person agrees to what's on the contract and there's no fight date, but they agree to the numbers. They agree to the numbers. Now the numbers, as far as the year, those numbers may not be on there. Or they may have numbers tentatively, TBA, tentatively. We're talking about this date right here. But when you're talking about agreeing to everything, okay, I agree to everything, but we still have to talk about the numbers. Okay, those numbers we good. But the main number that's going to put us in a venue and give us a fight date, that's what we want to know. And they can present it. What, he's supposed to fight in the dark? He's supposed to just fight online? He's supposed to go into the hallway in the backyard? Where are the fighters fighting at? That is the whole encompassing situation here where people just overlooking. How was he supposed to agree to everything with no fight date? If they had a date on there and it wasn't confirmed, and then they sent him back a final revision and it was for the following year, and Crawford didn't want to fight the following year, he has every right to stand up as a man in life, as a boxer, professional prize fighter, and take his business elsewhere. Take his business elsewhere. He has every right to do that. Take your business elsewhere, man. You don't have to sit here and wait for a fight that may not happen next year. What if he was to wait the next year, like I said before? He wait the next year and all this weight issue come out. All of a sudden, when negotiations fail, a tweet come out talking about, I've been at this division for my whole life, man. It's tough making weight. How do we know? Because there's rumors that he's going to move up to 154. Is he truly going to fight Keith Thurman? Is he going to fight his mandatory Stanthionis? Because Team Spence just can't do what they want to do, and Stanthionis is the Mandy. Keith Thurman isn't the mandatory. If they want to order something, then guess what? They got to come see Stanthionis. I mean, the Boxing Voice interviewed Richard Schaefer yesterday at the WBC convention, and he pretty much clarified that. He elucidated as much as he possibly can to how that process is supposed to work. Now, he said if PBC chooses to go forward and fight Keith Thurman, that's extremely disrespectful. He pretty much gave step-by-step process on how it's supposed to work. Stanthionis is next. How is that going to play out? That's what we're curious about. How's that whole process is going to play out? So we definitely always need to keep that on the front side when we out here on this media talking all shit, talking to the people about boxing content. We got to understand, man, everybody can create a story. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as kids, we start to understand right from wrong early in life, and we learn how to tell something that was absolute opposite of the truth. You know what I'm saying? A lie. We learned that early on. There's a lot of lying going on the YTC. And if you're still talking about what Crawford did or didn't do, and he's about to fight David Avanesian, you're not the smartest content creator. The little views that you're going to make off Crawford, it's a lot of human beings that's not really buying into that shit no more. They don't give a fuck. The ones who still talking about, they don't give a fuck about that. They know Crawford has moved the fuck on and Spence is not fighting this year. So by the time Spence fight, it will be a year or more. It will be a year or more when he fights next year for him being out the ring. So if Crawford says he's going to revisit Spence, don't go up here whining like little hoes and saying, oh, man, that's unfair. He was trying to stall. You know Spence has been having weight problems, and you could have fought last year. There's no way they would have fought this year. There's no way they was going to fight this year. We need to get that understood. There was no way they was going to fight this year. Which is big fights is going on at the end of the year? Where at PBC? Where are the big fights, man? Where? Where are all these big fights at? They didn't close out the year like Top Rank. Where are the big fights at? I know Top Rank has a super duper ooper triple patty with lettuce tomato and got that Big Mac sauce on it. They got a big fight card coming up next month. And we still got freaking Errol Spence, supposed to be pro Errol Spence channels talking about him fighting on BLK. Like a group of children. A group of children. For real. Shout out to my guy. Shaw News, the Sauce Experience, a.k.a. Showtime Shaw. Team Tucker in the building. What's good with it, Shaw? That interview also shows that Blues Clues didn't sabotage the fight. He didn't even know Crawford was speaking with them in June and July. Blues was still saying Spence Crawford was going down in October. Hey, I mentioned earlier, Shaw. I think he look. Let's give a take that he did or he didn't know. I think he knew around the time where the infamous meeting went down at 7-Eleven that they had made that man aware that they was reaching out to him. Period. They had made him aware. They had made him aware, man. He was aware shit was going on. There's communication between BLK and Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford's on record saying, oh, they reached out to him around June and all that. But he made it perfectly clear he was looking forward to the Spence fight. That was his primary focus. As weeks expired and we got to the point where negotiations were at their tail end, when Al Haymon was pretty much saying he don't want nobody else to touch anything. So, okay. So you want to give him 65-35 and Bud's pretty much agreeing to everything, right? Then look at it this way. If they had a fight date, why they didn't sign? People keep on getting on here talking about he agreed to everything, why he didn't sign. Stupid. Look at it. Did they have a fight date? Did they have a fight date? If they had a fight date, why wasn't it as easy to get the shit signed? They had a fight date. Terrence Crawford want to fight this year. Okay, if it was supposed to go in November, why didn't it go in November then? Why did they come back and say next year? If you can't explain that to people like myself and the listeners, then you have no point to argue. Anything else you're doing is just child's play. You just up here playing around and shit. You just want attention. Shall say they waiting on the New Year budget. For sure. For sure, man. For sure. Bunce, I feel like PBC started strong and ended weak. Top Rank started a little weak and ended strong. The zone just being frolicking around all throughout the year. I absolutely agree with that statement right there. Top Rank started off and they ended this motherfucker super strong. They say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we know early this year for PBC, Timothy was in front of the camera talking about they didn't want to make an insult. So all these damn aerosexuals is out here, right? They'll totally ignore that because the signs was there. A motherfucking only run a red flag up the pole so far. Damn, you see the damn signs, right? But every time nigga like me, I said, nigga, look up that pole. The red flag been up there forever. Timothy put it out there. We don't want to insult him. We don't want to do that. Come on, man. What the fuck wrong with y'all? Hold up, man. I mean, what's going on with y'all dudes, man? Why y'all can't figure this shit out? Let me see, can I bring this up right quick? Let me see, can I use E-Thriller shit? Shout out to E-Thriller, man. I'm trying to use his audio. I don't know if he's using his audio on this or not, but I'm just trying to. Hold on for a second. Hold on, I'll be right back, y'all. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I'm looking for the original. I'm not trying to look for anybody else's shit. I'm trying to look for the original. People just talking about it. Anyway, back to the people. Let me get down here on this chat. Jameson, what's good? Good morning, WCS. And chat, hope everyone have a good day. Real talk, same to you, bro. Same to you. Yeah, the interview exposed Blue. If anything, Blue ain't had no clue what was going on behind the scenes. Because if so, he would have been doing all that blood slander all summer. Listen, you have to never underestimate the capabilities of a man or woman. You know what I'm saying? When they're in a position of power for what they believe, and then God blessed us with the mindset to be able to deny and be selective when it comes to, keeping shit in reality and being real about something. We have the opportunity to freaking have selective amnesia and to be deceptive. That's why good bows before evil all the time, man. People will tell a lie or tell you no before they tell you yes, because it relieves them a liability if they say yes to something that they just don't want to commit to. That's just life. We can say whoever didn't know, okay, let's just follow what you want to say. He didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. It's possible, because that's what I was saying before. He was only a talent acquisition. He was never a silent partner. He was a talent acquisition, a talent searcher, okay? And he may not know. Let's agree with that, okay? So therefore, when he did find out, no one's going to convince me he found out at the 7-Eleven. He already knew, because he's on record as saying Terrence didn't know that he was a what? A silent partner. Okay? So that was back in September. That was back in September now. We in November. That was back in September. So when did he find out? August? July? When did he find out? I'm just saying, when did he find out? Because that's putting it up there close to the Crawford, you know what I'm saying? Saying he found out this and that, went through negotiation. When did he find out as a freaking silent partner? Because he changed it up and said he was a silent partner. So we're just going to give him the last minute benefit of the doubt. Okay. All right, cool. It's not really a big deal to me. I'm just saying he knew certain things before releasing that information. He just didn't want to go against the grain just yet because it wasn't anything to validate it. They haven't really locked the shit in yet, and you got to understand how boxing work. It would be difficult for him to release information on this because he's attached to the company, and also with boxing, what they say, big announcement coming, big announcement coming. So they want him to be able to release the news. They want all this to come to fruition. Was he waiting on permission? Was he waiting on the green light? Who knows? But he the one said, hey, Stephen Espinosa said that the fight date is still good for November, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he knew then. I think he knew there. Why would you say it's not going to happen? You playing the dang audio and everything, and Stephen Espinosa is validating that it was a fight date in November. You doing live streams on it. So if you got to a point where you found out the information, you knew the fight wasn't going to happen, but why would you come out with any other information? Or BLK Prime, and they really haven't started to put it out there yet. What information was brought out first? Adrian Broner signing the BLK Prime. Did Terrence Crawford information come out first? Because we waited there for the live and all that shit, and we thought it was going to be Terrence Crawford coming up here. You know what I'm saying? The wrinkles in the damn step and repeat. You know what I'm saying? And people want to make a big deal of, like myself. One chair sitting up there. One single hotel chair. And then Adrian Broner come up. Okay, we didn't get the announcement we was hoping for. We just got an announcement that Adrian Broner was signed with BLK. But we was looking for the Terrence Crawford, David Avanesian. That's what we wanted. We wanted that. We was waiting for, look, there's no specific chronological order. People was on here waiting for the tickets to go on sale. Oh, man, this shit ain't happening. They don't have no tickets on sale. Look, we still got people talking about a business license being suspended. These Spencerholics, they was up here just talking about everything wrong with BLK Prime. Not understanding totally that it's certain things that can be suspended, but that don't mean anything. The business license can be suspended in a certain area or whatever the case may be, or somebody else that's attached to them in partnership may be the one that's running it, and they can use their name. I mean, it's just so many loopholes that I'm not qualified to speak on. I'm somewhat, you know what I'm saying, following a little bit, different ideas and shit. But all I'm saying is it's old news at this point. I still think he knew a little bit more than he let on for the people in his so-called group. And it is what it is. If he didn't know anything there, Blunts, why get on live and goddamn and try to get back in the good graces as if you didn't know anything at the time? You did. That's why you're going to explain yourself. If I don't have nothing to explain to y'all, I'm not going to explain to y'all. Fuck it. I did what I had to do, and I was all honest. I had integrity doing it. If I didn't have any integrity and I felt like I was really fucked up and I was being deceptive and I was betraying a lot of people that had trust in me, then I got to explain. I got to get on there with somebody and call him General 30 times. Fuck that. Fuck that, nigga. Hell no. Hell no. Everyone know PBC was trying to secure network deals. That's why it was hard for them. But hey, what do I know? Good point, man. Good point. Is they was trying to secure network deals and they wasn't really anchored in, right? Like people think they are, because they just look at PBC, and some of these niggas think they're a promotional company and they ain't. But if they had issues going on behind the scenes and they need a network, you know what I'm saying? They had they needed a network. They got to go out here and make some phone calls. They got to make some shit happen. You know, they just overlook the shit that happened with the head honcho of freaking Showtime. They just overlooked that shit. They overlooked the damn Timothy Smith, situation. I'm gonna try one more time. Hold on for a second. Damn, they did a great job with putting that shit away. They did a damn good job, homie, for real. Captain Chaos on deck. What's good there, Chaos? What's good? Salute to you. But let me go through. Let's see. It's amazing because I know I did a live stream on it. Hold up for a second, man. I did a live stream on this motherfucker, man. I know I did. I know I did. And I know I used the audio on that bitch too. Let me see, can I find it on my shit? Let me see. Where we at? Nope. Damn. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. If anybody have a link to it, man, just drop it in the chat. But anyway, like I was saying, Timothy Smith came out earlier this year, made it perfectly clear, where they was at. And then, like Shaw News just mentioned, they was up here searching for networks and trying to lock some shit in and make it official, but they just couldn't finish the job. Nor could they guarantee a fight to be, to happen of this magnitude this year. That's a lot of what the aerosexuals are trying to brush under the rug and keep it there nice and cozy, because they just don't want to talk about something like that. If they couldn't have the fight this year, they couldn't have the fight this year. It has nothing. What was Terrence Crawford supposed to do? Shadow box? What you want them to do? Make up a contract for him to shadow box? And they're gonna have it at a small venue, get some comp tickets out there, and he's just gonna shadow box, have an open workout? What was he supposed to do? Al Heyman wasn't gonna pay for the shit. What did Crawford say? Al Heyman's gonna look out for his fighter, right? Because his fighter is signed with him, right? Or why is it so difficult for y'all to understand that? His fighter, he's going to look out for the best interest of his fighter. Even if Terrence Crawford signed a multi-fight deal with PBC, he's going to go with who's already been signed with him previously. That doesn't mean he's into the family right now. That just believes business is business. Now, of course, if he was to sign a multi-fight deal, what if he signed on for a multi-fight deal and then the fight date changed? He's locked in with a contract. And if it's internal to the contract that they didn't say when the fight will happen, but he will fight so-and-so potentially in his first fight, then that first fight can be in 2023, man. The Deontay Wilder contract, the $120 million they love talking about, it didn't guarantee he'll fight Anthony Joshua at this specific date and all that. If Joshua would have lost the belts, who would Deontay fight? I'm just saying, bro. Foul player, what's good? Hoorah to you and the other dogs across the skies. Mr. Comeback, thank you for your service. Appreciate you there, foul player. Thank you. Appreciate you. And we can never forget, man. Shout out to the Devil Dogs. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the ones who served their country. You know what I'm saying? You already know what it is. Appreciate you. Salute to everyone. You know, that's what we're looking at right now, man. It's just so much information out here that we've had the opportunity to archive, and we've done so many lives on this shit. And I just want to, put some more clarification out there that it doesn't matter what you think of Crawford in your story. It's going to be fictional because you chose to insert information in there that's not true. So you have a fictional story, and it's good for YouTube because there's a lot of shit out here that's circulating that's not true. I get it. It's all good, brother. I get it. Y'all continue to talk about Crawford. Y'all continue to do what you want to do. It's all good. I'm not tripping because y'all cannot stop the fight that's going on now. You ain't going to be the one signing his checks or holding up his checks. Hey, bro, it's all good. Let's see if they fight after he go in here and step on Avanesian. Let's see who Crawford fight next. Okay? Pay attention to who you've been talking about. Let's see who Crawford fight next. Because truth be told, he's supposed to fight December 10th. Let's see who Crawford fight next, shawty. Y'all love talking about him. Let's see who he fight next. Let's see, can you stop that fight? All you cats out here on social media, let's see, can you stop the fight? You want to talk about ducking? What are you ducking? Y'all ducking information. That's what y'all ducking. Information. So take your ass and all the way up to Omaha and see, can you stop the fight from happening? Since you love talking about the Omaha legend himself, see, can you stop the motherfucker? If you can't stop it, shut the fuck up. If you can't stop the motherfucker, shut the fuck up, man. You're wasting time. Now for Errol Spence, man, y'all just do a little bit better with that. I know y'all don't fuck with Errol like that. You aerosexuals. You just want to use his name and get views and shit. I know you don't fuck with him like that. That's why he don't get an interview with none of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And y'all just prove how disloyal y'all are in this situation with the video coming out. Y'all chose to insert another fighter named Kyrie Irving that I talked about yesterday. Y'all just so disrespectful. Real talk, y'all just so disrespectful, man. Y'all start talking about Kyrie Irving and anti-Semitic, situation going on, how they pretty much suspended him and punished him, and people call it buck breaking and all that. What is it that y'all doing with Terrence Crawford? What is that called? What's that type of technique? The amount of energy y'all put in criticizing. Well, what is that called? You want to come up with all these terms about Kyrie Irving, buck breaking, racism, and all that. What is that called? What y'all doing to Crawford? What is it called that y'all not doing for Errol Spence Jr.? People get on here whining, making lies. Y'all talking about Errol Spence got an addiction. Dude, stop whining like a bitch and take accountability that your favorite fighter has a problem and that you, all the aerosexuals, are clout chasing this nigga's name, and you don't even want to put no caring effort into doing videos to help this man be looked at in a positive light. Y'all continue to talk about Crawford. Continue. And then when you speak about Errol Spence, what you do? You make up fucking excuses. He don't have an addiction. He don't have nothing. That was a skit. I mean, come on, bro. Like, no matter how many times I do that shit, I can't sound like him. Y'all say it's an old video, but yet y'all don't see the problem in the video? Oh, it's just an old video. Man, that's some fucked up friends. Who need enemies if you got aerosexuals? For real. Ain't they the best? Ain't they the best, bro? These dudes want to talk about how old the video is instead of identifying what's internal to the video. There's footage of your boy looking bad out here. Not even in the streets, but in his own home, dog. And must I reiterate once again, if you're talking about his opposition, that means you really have some type of favor for Terrence Bud Crawford. You pretty much understand that it's going to be a tough fight, especially if the news keep coming out that Errol Spence have substance abuse problem, right? But believe this, y'all can get on here and talk about all this shit on YTC and don't identify what you looked at. This female is talking about, vehicular freaking assault on Errol Spence for cheating, okay? Now, this is not a good look. Why would a bitch like that come out here and talk about cheating when she picked a man up during a moment of infidelity? Like a lot of you niggas on YTC keep cheating with each other. Real talk, let's just keep it the way it is. Y'all get mad because somebody else is not in your chat and they in the other one. They feel that's cheating. Man, yeah. I see y'all over there. I'm going to screenshot you because I want you over here. I want your companionship in my chat. I want you jerking off over here in my chat. That's the way I like it. Yeah, these niggas worrying about other grown-ass men being in the company, in the chat of another content creator. This shit is unfucking believable. You got grown men up here talking about they're screenshotting another person using emojis. So them same people go back over to that person's chat to show love and drop eggplant emojis. Eggplant. They say, oh, you're back. Okay. Oh, I see you trying to kiss up to me with the eggplant emoji. I got it. Yeah, I got it. It's going to take you a little bit more than that now. These motherfuckers are talking about wrenches. Listen, we talking about wrenches. That's what we talking about. We ain't talking about the content we were creating. What really matters to the sport of boxing, we're talking about wrenches. Wrenches? That's the fuck we talking about, wrenches? We're talking about not identifying how stupid you really is if you got 500 plus wrenches. Are you dumb? Are you stupid? We're talking about wrenches. We're talking about wrenches in this motherfucker. Wrenches don't provide you any type of residual income on an annual basis. We're talking about wrenches. A color. We're talking about a tool, an identity. Individuals that you don't even know. You don't know every wrench that you wrench up. You just give them the wrench so that they can't be blocked by any other wrenches, and you show them a little bit more love and support than some other viewers that may not fuck with you on a regular basis. We talking about motherfucking wrenches, y'all. We talking about wrenches, bro. You got grown ass men talking about wrenches. Not the kind of wrench that you grab out the toolbox and start working on something physically in your house, tightening up some freaking bolts and shit. We're talking about YouTube wrenches. We got these mean ass disgruntled niggas talking about, hey, if you came back over here and you don't find a wrench and I had to redo my wrenches, nigga, you sound stupid. Who gives a fuck if you redo your wrenches? A motherfucker come over there and you don't have a wrench and you grade up. Who cares? Who cares, dog? I mean, you're not in charge of any battalion, dog. Don't nobody give a fuck about your wrenches. Like, damn, should y'all be at home getting ready for Spence next fight? Why y'all here? I'm just saying, bro, like, the way they treated a fighter they supposed to be in favor of, I don't mind. Like King Mitch, for instance. King Mitch, let me know he rock with Errol Spence. It's a lot of people on here that rock with Errol Spence. Look, if they keep it on boxing, we good. But most of the time, the aerosexuals come over here, they'll say some nicknames. And I find nicknames, to be a bit juvenile in a sense. It don't matter about the nicknames, because at the end of the day, you can't stop the progress of what this fighter got going on in life. Like, you can say crawfish and you can say all the other shit. It don't matter. You can't take him off the pound for pound list. You ain't signing his checks. You can't go to his house and say, you know what? I want everybody to clear out the house and meet down in my office ASAP. Everybody in here. It don't matter who's paying the mortgage. I want you all out the house, your entire family. Get down to my office right now. We got to talk about it. You don't have that authority. You're not paying for his training camp. You're not supplying all the dang food and the meal preps that he have to eat. You're not lacing up. You're not wrapping his hand, lacing up his gloves. You're not giving them water during the motherfucking sparring session and training up there in Colorado Springs. You're doing nothing of that. Only thing you're doing is creating content like me. That's all, bro. Shout out to B.I.G. I said every time they dog out Bud, it makes EJ look bad. They don't get it. They don't try to get it, man. These cats are childish, bro. Shout out to Coach on Deck, man. New media today, USA Boxing. Salute to you. Shout out to WCS and salute to the chat. Salute to you, Coach. That's the only thing I'm trying to say. Like, this whole ordeal that we've been a part of, all right? It's been some informative information that was spoken on. Real talk. Real talk. There's been so many collaborations about this information when it comes to panels and everything. If y'all choose to go on panels and talk about old shit, I'm telling you once again, let's speak about what is now, what is reality. Is what you talking about, does it have any type of energy or influence on the actual result? No. We passed that. Now that we have understanding and clarity, we was left in the dark on a lot of shit, we can move forward to what's going on December 10th. It's a lot of people on YouTube that's going to be in Omaha December 10th. Terrence Bud Crawford's name continued to blossom because it's the hottest topic on YouTube, so much to the fact that people are willing to sacrifice Errol Spence to talk about Terrence Crawford for views, for clout. They're gonna continue to talk. They feel that they're so-called supporting Errol Spence, but no, they're taking advantage of Terrence Crawford's name being the hottest topic on YouTube, so they don't give a fuck about talking about Errol Spence. But when they do talk about Spence, what is it? It's victimization. Victimization all the fucking time. Bud Crawford fans, they just treat him so bad. Bud Crawford fans, they always talking about Errol Spence. Bud Crawford fans, they always talking about he got an addiction. Bud Crawford fans say that he has a drinking problem. That ain't true. Bud Crawford, they always trying to put him as a victim. The same way he looked on the video. These niggas act the same exact way, bro. They'll come up here and say, how can y'all accuse him as having a problem of substance? Bro. The accident is public record, and supposedly he had another accident after that was swept under the rug. Listen to me. Listen to me. Surely you have to understand one thing, right? Surely. Let's understand one thing, right? Surely we know that he may be locked into a debt with Allen. That debt is getting him out of that situation so he continue to fight. He pled guilty to a DWI, bro. You plead guilty to a DWI in California, and you damn near gonna get fined $10,000, and you might do a little jail time. I don't know. It's according to your first offense or what. But some people helped him get out of that situation with that DWI. They helped him get out. They helped him get out of that motherfucker, yo. The man pled guilty. So he pled guilty to a DWI. No matter who and what might have been in tow, pursuing him. We're talking about he pled guilty. And then not only that, I heard allegedly there was another accident. Then you have to factor in all the collective video footage that's out there of him being inebriated. And this recent video is no different. I don't give a fuck what day of the calendar it is. You have to identify the shit for what it is. Stop fucking off like you want to go back to grade school and carry a damn lunchbox to school and you're there picking your nose and looking at it and putting it in your mouth. Stop it. You've held to a higher standard now, whether you want to take the responsibilities or not. But I'm letting you know. Y'all need to do a better job with sanitizing Errol Spence Jr.'s name on this motherfucking YTC. You got to do a better job than that shit. Y'all are just leaving that man over there in the motherfucking locker where the mops are at, the bucket, you know what I'm saying? All the damn dirty rags. Y'all just leaving his name over there. Y'all not doing this man any justice by talking about Crawford all the time. Y'all not doing him any justice of putting him in a victim state because he fucking up. Y'all not doing this man any justice, bro. The man met the chick he's with right now and has a baby by him. Y'all don't see some type of news reporting in that, or that's getting personal. Because y'all sure enough talk about Crawford's family. Y'all talk about his girl. Y'all busy talking about his family and his girl. So Spence, his personal shit off limits when y'all motherfuckers constantly talk about his family. I'm just asking a rhetorical question, man. If it's off limits, if he met a bitch when he was out there fucking around, she got him good, y'all. She got his ass good. Because not too long after that, she popped that kid out and had it. That kid is an entity now. That kid has a Social Security, an SSN. That kid has a birth certificate. And that kid has financial support from a fighter named Errol Spence Jr. Now, it wouldn't be such a big deal if people realize that Terrence Crawford has multiple children that he takes care of, highly athletic. It's no, he's no different. The only difference is that it's a cohesiveness internal to his freaking family. It's a group setting. It's a group setting that's considered the family. Now, this shit that's going on over here, you would think that they'll pay attention to how Crawford, whole La Familia, is moving as a unit. Whereas him, we don't know what the fuck is going on over here. We got a bitch that's in there trying to kill him. She's talking about infidelity, cheating on him. But yet when he met the nigga, he was goddamn cheating on his former baby mama that had kids by him. So what she do? She insert herself into a damn situation, pops out a kid, and then put him on video. Put him on video when they have a kid on deck. The kid was born October 2020. So you have a child on deck with this dude that you met during a moment of infidelity, and you're talking about running the motherfucker over? You're talking about going to Dubai when he fucked up? You got your wish, bro. She got a wish because they did go to Dubai. That's when they were standing up there in Dubai, and she was dressed in all black. Gold figure. Gold motherfucking figure. Rob, what's good? What's good? Gooch said, Bud about to sell out Omaha. Let's go. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's see what it is. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what it is, man. I hear a lot of people saying they got their tickets and everything, bro. They're going to be out and about. supporting the champ. That's what it's about. But peep this. I know deep down inside, man, I have the privilege to come in here and talk about what the hell I want to talk about when I want to talk about it. I can. And I know if anything I say makes sense about whoever it is, especially about this Terrence Crawford Errol Spence situation, if it doesn't sit with them enough to make a change, then I know they listen anyway. All they got to do is listen, just like they say I'm listening. But the difference between me and them, they pretend like they don't fuck with the channel, but they always talking about the numbers. I tell them, I'm going to listen to what the fuck you saying. Because there might be a time of day I want to do a video off what you're saying. It might be some dumb shit you said, and I want to talk about it. I'm telling you. I'm giving you the courtesy. I didn't ask you for a goddamn copay. I'm telling you. Hey, if I got the time, I'll tune in. I'll listen to that shit. I'm telling you. What's wrong with that? Who cares if you call and get all hyped up and lose yourself, like Eminem said? Lose yourself. You know, you're losing yourself right now. You got to call a man out his name a dozen times over before you get to the point. At the end of the day, you got two fighters who didn't fight this year. Right? They didn't fight each other this year. You got two fighters that didn't fight this year. One of those fighters are fighting somewhere else with a whole nother opponent, and you want to keep talking about the same fighter who signed on to make a check, man. Give it up. God damn, give this shit up. You're like children, bro. Like, you need some type of goddamn someone to chaperone you, man. I'm willing and able to get you that person. I can't do it because I wouldn't be fair to y'all niggas, man. I find somebody. If you need a chaperone or a mentor, I can find you that. A life coach, I can find you that, man. I can find you that. There's plenty of dudes out here pushing carts in the ATL, man. That once upon a time, you know, had it and they lost it, and they got a lot of wisdom. I can get them, you know, I can get them to talk to you, bro. And it's good it'll be remotely because, you know, the smell and everything in person might be a little bit too much. But some of these dudes got a lot of wisdom, man. They can teach you some things. Seriously. They can teach you some things because I just don't get why some of you dudes keep talking about views and numbers and all that. And you're not paying attention on Errol Spence. Keep the shit on Errol Spence Jr. If that's the fighter that you rocking with heavy. And you continue to talk about Bud, but yet you're not concerned about what he got going on. You want to see him get knocked out next year. You want to see him get knocked out. What, you going to go black again? You punk ass niggas going to go dark? You going to go quiet again next year? You're going to be like, oh man, this ain't the time, man. We just in mourning right now, man. See, what y'all don't know, the reason why we didn't say anything when the video came out, we was respecting his household. We was giving him space. We was giving him space. That's what we was doing. Unlike y'all. You was busy talking about him. Making him feel worse than what he should be in the moment. We respected him for having family. So, okay. So if you respected him, why you didn't cuss the bitch out that was on top of him with the horn sticking out of her head? What kind of parent is that? What kind of parent is you? You trust somebody like that around your other kids? She is fucking crazy. Y'all niggas can't come out and identify for what it is. She is loony. Deranged. She had put him out in front of the lens twice, exposing this nigga for acting goofy. And goofy is a very, very polite, playful term. She put him on camera twice already with the strawberry shit, said the nigga was gay, and then when he was fucked up. She ain't healthy, bro. And y'all dudes is on here that's not speaking about that. You want to keep the damn energy. Man, y'all ain't shit either. Y'all don't give a fuck about him. Because you know damn well that's fucked up. Y'all claim to have all these families and shit like that, but yet this man's being put out here in front of the lens, made fun of, and deep down inside, man, it's fucked up. Seriously, it's just a fucked up situation to see that brother out there looking this way. He can look this way outside the ring, right? But yet, y'all want to talk about the way he looking inside the ring. That's all that matters. No, the shit I told y'all, the shit Crawford got, 65%. What he does outside the ring, he only gonna need 35% to fuck up Spence. I told you that. I was trying to put it out there subliminally. Crawford handles himself in a way that his outside, what he does on the outside and his maintenance is gonna play a very significant role once he lock up with Spence whenever they fight, if they fight. Whereas Spence, a lot of shit he's doing outside the ring is gonna get him fucked up. And I think a lot of people that's over there at PBC knows that shit. No matter how you want to look at it, they know it. They know it. They know it. They know it, homie. They know it. You know it. But y'all continue to sit up here and then just want to talk about the other person. Moving on, man. I'm off that topic. I want to talk about something else that's very important that was mentioned early on. I'm not gonna take too much time on this with the shooting. Believe me, ain't too many people talking about that shit down here. Like, I'm not saying they ain't talking about it, but not in a way with people this, that, and the other. So, if somebody want to talk about Shakur Stevenson leaving the scene, that's something he has to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Once again, another fighter that's in a situation and people want to make a big deal about it. Yeah, it looked bad for him being there, especially in light of what happened. One of the most notable hip hop artists down here in the ATL, you know what I'm saying, Takeoff, was killed. And it's a lot that's surrounding that, but I'm not gonna go in detail about it. I don't talk about hip hop like that. But since there's a boxer there, okay, on scene, they're gonna have to figure it out. I'm not being no motherfucking Charleston White and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. We already got Gervonta Davis, you know, that was supposed to fight down here in December. That fight's been called off because he has court that month. So we pretty much was robbed of Ryan Garcia Gervonta Davis fight because of something he did. This is an ongoing occurrence. So what do you want? What do you want me to say? I don't have nothing to say about that. Shakur is a grown fucking man, dog. He has a child now too. He's a grown fucking man. Did he have any idea what was going to take place? Probably not. Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Probably not. I ain't got shit to say about that shit dealing with these hip hop artists and everything, man. That's just not what I do. Especially on this social media shit. That's just not what my channel's about, man. I'll talk about some whole nother other shit. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have the time to be talking about that. Seriously. I don't know if y'all heard this, right? But did you hear that Canelo said he already beat Bivol and there's no rematch? Anybody care to speak on that, please? Canelo said he already beat Bivol. There's no rematch. I don't know where he's going with it, but it was a bit funny because he clearly got outworked in that fight. And he's sitting up here trying to erase that memory like Lomachenko's first loss. It's not going anywhere, buddy. You lost that fight. You lost that fight. Period. Period. Another fight that's out there I like, that I believe Emmanuel Navarrete is going to win, is him facing Oscar Valdez for the vacant WBO. So they're going to fight at junior lightweight and fight for the vacant title. A title formerly owned by a fighter called Shakur Stevenson, who defeated Oscar Valdez for his WBC title. So, I mean, that's going to be a good fight. I got Emmanuel Navarrete in that. Seriously. That's a tough fight for Oscar Valdez. Very, very tough fight, man. Navarrete is long, rangy. You know, he's very awkward, too. The shit he does in the ring, you can't teach in the gym. He's a different type of dude. I like that fight, though. They say they have Errol Spence and Keith Thurman, so they put it out here that the order was unanimously approved by the WBC Board of Governors, though the ruling itself could be a formality. All right? It could just be a formality, y'all. That doesn't mean it's in stone. It's just formality that they're going through right here. Just to make it look good. It looks good. It sounds good. But you definitely have to understand that Stanthionis is in the shadows with the light bulb on. He's letting you know that I'm still here. I ain't went nowhere. But they made it perfectly clear yesterday about this. And I played the audio.
So I have to ask you about the welterweight division. You obviously have the WBA champion, regular Mantis Stanonius. You didn't position for anything for him here. Is it because he holds some sort of WBA title and he can't be considered in these rankings?
Yes, the rule is that if you are a champion in another division, you cannot be ranked in different division. Sanctioning organization. So basically, if you are a WBA champion, you're no longer eligible to be ranked by the WBC or by the IBF or by the WBO. And so there was no point for me to stand up here. Otherwise, and by the way, Monty Stanionis is already the mandatory to Errol Spence. This is a position which was communicated to us by the WBA, by the board, over a year ago, that he is the mandatory for that title, since Spence participated in a unification bout. We in Montes decided to step aside and allow Spence to fight Ugas. And
can you educate us there, because that's the discrepancy we have. Okay. When a fighter accepts step aside, does he lose his?
I'm just letting y'all know, without playing the entire audio, that Stanthionis haven't went anywhere. All right. Schaefer is just pretty much speaking about how the protocol actually works. On Boxing Scene, they say Stanthionis has fought on PBC cards, but is officially promoted by Richard Schaefer, Probellum Company. That company, New Generation, is pretty much attached to the BLK situation too. It goes on in this article to say their side has previously stated the intention to have the WBA enforce its mandatory status. Spence could theoretically vacate the super title, which will leave the WBA with one title at welterweight. Now, from us tuning in, you already know how that looks. People don't want him to vacate anything, but it's going to be extremely, you know what I'm saying, unique moving forward into 2023, knowing that Crawford's about to fight next month, and then to see what's going on with Spence. You know what I'm saying? What are we talking about? Because people really, it comes down to this. Do we want to see them fight for all the belts, or do we just want to see Spence and Crawford fight? Because to establish supremacy out of division, all we need is both of the fighters. The belts is just an attaboy. You know what I'm saying? It's just extra crowns or whatever. But it might come down to us just seeing the two fighters fight, just to see who's the best welterweight. Especially both of them guys being on the pound for pound list. It might be a fight for the supremacy of the welterweight division. That's what it might come down to, if indeed it plays out the way they're talking about. With Stantionis being over there, already took step aside money, and him not willing to budge if they up here deciding to try to fight Thurman. If Stantionis don't budge, how's this fight gonna take place? It might just be strictly a formality for what on how they speaking on right now. It might just be a formality, y'all. Shakur Stevenson, Isaac Cruz. Of course, I love that fight. Of course, man. Who wouldn't like that fight with Shakur Stevenson just coming off Hobson Conceição and moving up to 135-pound lightweight after dropping his belts? Previous to that 130-pound bout, the unified champion. He was holding the WBC and WBO junior lightweight world titles. Now he's moving up here and fighting what is considered a top-notch opponent, Isaac Cruz. And down here in the South, his name is Isaac. Hello, Isaac. But they want to call him Isaac. Some people call him Isaac. But this is going to show us a lot because, look, Shakur Stevenson cutting weight the way he was. We don't know how weak he truly was. Like, he goes in there and make fights look so easy. So him not happen to be, mandated to cut that 5 pounds. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy, dog. Like, I'm just. This is gonna be a very, very interesting matchup when it comes to the tactics that is used, because I don't care what people think they seen or know what they seen with Gervonta Davis. He's not gonna do that with Shakur Stevenson. I'm telling you, it's not gonna happen. The way he was pressing, he's not gonna do that with Shakur Stevenson. You can't fight everybody the same. We can't ignore the fact on how accurate Shakur Stevenson is when he's the aggressor or him assuming the position of a counterpuncher. We can't ignore how accurate Shakur Stevenson is. And then how short Isaac Cruz's arms are. How elusive Shakur Stevenson is. People think it's going to be a knock him out, drag out fight. I don't see it going down like that. I just don't, man. I just don't. Which video is that, WCS? Also, what is the timestamp? So I recorded it. So it's the Boxing Voice, and it's at the WBC convention. And fast forward all the way up to where you see Suleiman's son. He's only there briefly with Ness, and then Richard Schaefer comes on and talk. So go to Richo Suleiman's son. He's wearing a collared shirt, of course. Looked like a freaking baby blue shirt or whatever. And then Richard Schaefer comes in. And that's when he starts talking about this situation. So it's at the WBC convention, the Boxing Voice. And Ness is the only one doing the interviews at that time. You know what I'm saying? So you can just fast forward all the way up to the point where Mauricio's son comes on and then Richard Schaefer comes on. And they talk about that situation. The WBC started live. Okay, that was earlier. Okay, cool. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that fight. Big time. I know we supposed to potentially have Lomachenko and Haney. Looking forward to that fight too. That seemed like it's gonna be a really good fight. But once again, are we gonna see that fight? You know what I'm saying? When is that fight gonna happen? When is that fight gonna happen? I don't know. I really don't know. When is that fight gonna happen? What is the schedule looking like? When they gonna get back in fight camp? That's the biggest question of it all, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got, man. It's going on like 2 hours. I'm not gonna stay on here too long. I will be covering the UFC 281 Izzy Adesanya fight in the main event against Alex Pereira, and also freaking Carla Esparza versus Zhang Weili in the co-main event in the women's strawweight division of 115 pounds. And, it has some damn good fights on that card as a whole, but I'll definitely be covering that this weekend. Seriously. Tomorrow's Veterans Day, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be over here in the morning time, but y'all continue to support the channel. You already know what it is, man. I'm going to stand up for mine. That's what it's going to be. And I cover boxing and MMA. That's what it's always going to be. So I'm gonna definitely get more in tune to mixed martial arts on the channel and to cover the events. But until then, man, y'all continue to rock out with me. Hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate everyone who did not send a super chat. It is not required over here. If you choose to, cool. If not, I'm gonna be okay. And shout out to the Marines out there. Hey!